Anyway, I'm going to go ahead because I don't want to run out. Anyway, I'm going to end in a project we just started that is all of a sudden, I don't know why we haven't done it. In a sense, it's closing the loop of where we started, which is that we're going back to schools. Schools are an extraordinary center of the activity that, of who we are as a community. And when we started building schools in the squatter communities 24 years ago, I would have moments where we were doing a court and there would be 500 people out there helping to make concrete. This last year, 2 years ago, we started working with Arab to build the school for this Holy Dalai Lama in the Himalayas, but also to begin to work in the schools in Portland, Oregon. So once again, this kind of tandem between what we can learn by doing action outside the United States and how can we bring the lessons home. And of course, the one in the Himalayas is an extraordinary site on the dock, one of the most sacred places on earth, unbelievable. And working with Arab who are gods in their field, we've been working to create the new generation of classrooms. These are totally off-the-grid classrooms. And the organization of how classroom and learning and everything has impacted what we're beginning to do in the United States. And we're doing even outdoor classrooms. And what's interesting here is that one thing that Arab never thought of, we've done an extraordinary project this last year, but the thing that I thought was coolest was we created a series of cartoons, books, for children's literacy, because they were building the world's most ecological school, but none of the kids understood what Arab was doing. So we polled the kids to find out who were their favorite action heroes, and of course Batman and Spider-Man are favorites all over the world. So these are excerpts out of 3 different comic books. One explaining composting toilets, one explaining solar walls which heat the buildings, one explaining recycling and human waste, and et cetera. And they're great. I mean, the kids, they become big favorites. And we have taken this also back to America because actually we are suffering from an incredible crisis in education. It's unreal. I mean, I'm speaking from the perspective of working now in Portland on this, but it's reflected nationally. Oregon used to have one of the best education systems in the country in the 70s. It is dismal now, and it's so underfunded that it's a tragedy. And the schools that we're producing, there hasn't been a school, the last great school campaign was 63 years ago. There has been no funding for schools. And so you get these extraordinary schools like this, which are beautiful, but consume energy, are toxic, they don't have enough capacity for the kids that are in there, and there are too few of them. There has to be a whole new generation of schools. Not only retrofitting the schools that are so much part of our legacy, like that one, where there's savings, this is from the USGBC, can all of a sudden create 100,000 from simple acts of ecological reengineering, but also from the kinds of changes to the environment. You involve the kids in this process, and they become part of the force and part of the educated future of your society. So 500 healthier kids, better learning environment. The benefits are extraordinary. So what I've done is we had a meeting of AIA Portland. I said, and Architects Without Borders and all the organizations, and I said, listen, this year, as we said last year, so many of us aren't employed, but we can still be useful. We can be transformative at this moment. And so we are farming people out to every school, all 100 schools in the Portland School District, and every architect group is getting a school, and they're going to come up with a vision plan of what that school could be in the future. And we're going to create all those visions into a collective image of where we could head as a society into the future. And take action from there, because the power of ideas is transformative. I'm going to end in this. I've been ending this the last year because one of my favorite images that came out of our work in New Orleans, I don't know if you can tell, this is a self-portrait by one of the kids who was working in the Green Project with us, and it's made from the cigarette butts. And the portrait is actually, so cigarettes burn to different degrees until they get blacker, and some the filters work better. And what he did is collected the cigarette butts from all the community meetings he participated where nothing got done. And he created a portrait of frustration, in a sense, it's like the most poignant portrait of what happens when you don't take action, when you don't take that step to actually take the step to envision and take the next step to make it a reality as a collective effort of a community. Anyway, thank you.